This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 13, and it reads, "Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. Shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she had sinned against the Lord." Giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Power of Israel, Yahweh, Bashima Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the mighty men, the elders, and the apostles in the community, waking up the lost sheep, the house of Israel in these last days. Peace and blessings to everyone doing this truth and humbleness, sincerity. Again, I'm going to say shalom. Let's go over this article. Let's read this article. I did the notification. I said I would bring it out, so let's read it. End time headline reports, May 6, 2023. Russia just ordered civilians to evacuate across parts of Ukraine as Putin gears up for retaliatory strikes. Russian installed official ordered civilians in 18 occupied communities near the front line to evacuate as both sides appear to be bracing for a widely expected Ukrainian offense, according to the Wall Street Journal. Slovakia. Ivany Bausty, the Russian installed head of occupied parts of Ukraine's southern Zaporozhye region, said the evacuation was needed to strengthen security amid an uptick in Slovakia Ukrainian attacks. The city of Edor, next to Russian-occupied Zaporozhye, Slovakia. I'm doing my best with these words. Nuclear plant is among the communities being evacuated. I decided to remove first of all children with their parents, the elderly, the disabled, patients of medical institutions from enemy fire, and move them from the frontline territories deep into the region, Mr. Bausty wrote Friday on Telegram. This is a necessary measure to ensure the safety of the residents of the frontline territories. He added that the children would be able to stay in school once evacuated, and people who were being evacuated would receive accommodation, food, and lump sum payments. Yeah, of taxpayers' dollars. It's reading on. Slovakia. The evacuations are the latest step Russian officials have taken to consolidate their hold on occupied parts of Ukraine ahead of a possible Ukrainian offensive to retake lost territory. That's going into those annexed cities. Or should I say all of Ukraine that's really annexed. It's reading on. Slovakia. Let's read on. Officials have also been pushing residents to take Russian passports. Officers question people on public buses who are far from home. Okay, last paragraph. Russian officials also evacuated citizens from the city of Kherson last year before the withdrawal of Moscow's forces from the city. The Institute of the Study of War, a Washington-based think tank, said the evacuation of cities from frontline areas is likely also designed to pave the way for Russian troops to conduct a controlled retreat. That's the end of that article. And family, I'm going to tell y'all something. That's a bunch of media hype. I might have told y'all in one of my old YouTube videos. I used to date a Ukrainian woman, and she broke down the relationship with Russia and Ukraine. They're the same people, and you have to be out of your mind if you think there's going to be some crazy, how do you say, you know, they're hyping up some type of missile to blow up Ukraine. Listen, this whole retaliatory strike, okay, it's a hype. And if there's going to be a retaliatory strike, I doubt if it's going to be on Ukraine that's already annexed, okay? The article is, I mean, fam, that article is bullshit, because when you follow sources like Redacted, okay, and those other sources out there, the records show Russia's basically won that war. It's not officially over. A lot of sources show, okay, the Ukrainians are out of weapons, they're low on troops, so bad that Vladimir Zelensky is caught and his thugs harassing families, taking young teens, forcing them into the military to, you know, basically send them to their death. So this whole retaliatory hype, I got news for y'all. It's not about Ukraine, man. If they're one family of people, they're one tribe of people. You get that in the Dukes of Edom. I believe that's Genesis 34, 35, 36, somewhere around there. You get the tribes of Edom. The retaliatory strike's not against Ukraine. I mean, there could be some small, how do you say, proxies to finish annexing what's left. But the retaliatory strikes, and I'm only speaking as a man, but this is what I believe. The retaliatory strikes is against America. I'll repeat that again. You know, it says, Russia just ordered civilians to evacuate across parts of Ukraine as Putin gears up for retaliatory strikes. And when you review, you know, this the playback, it never said there was a conflict. It was a bunch of hype. The Russians and the Ukrainians are the same tribe of people. And you can dig into that history when the Soviet Union split. And of course the CIA got involved and they landed a puppet government like they did with Venezuela. I mean, you go in that history, like 2012, 13, 14, you had a small conflict with Russia, Ukraine, so it's bullshit. The retaliatory warning is against America. I'm gonna tell y'all why. America, for 1 year and 5+ months, has been funding Ukraine. And when you go to the beginning, when Russia began to invade, didn't Putin tell America and its allies not to you know, involve themselves with this conflict, or there will be consequences? Now, one of the consequences that's playing out right now is the BRICS buildup. Okay, the dollar's hurting. Inflation is just, it's severely bad now. Our gas prices are shooting up. Grocery prices is only increasing. And, you know, the dollar's just is in a very weak state. And even if there was to raise the debt ceiling, it won't stop this coming judgment. And I'm telling y'all, this retaliatory strike, it's an oxymoron, man. That's not against Ukraine. Ukraine in a position where they just need to surrender. Okay? So when you go back to this drone strike, after that happened, Zelensky fled Ukraine. How they gonna have an offensive? Think about it. How they gonna have an offensive? They ain't even got enough weapons to pull that off. And as far as those children that was being kidnapped by Zelensky, okay, I mean teenagers, they weren't children, but it's gone viral that they were basically taking teens from their families to force them into an unwinnable war. And I was about to say, I hope those, you know, troops just align themselves with Putin until they basically stand down, because Ukraine's not in a position. Yo, check it. They're not in a position to fight Russia. Okay, and I ain't going into the body counts of Ukrainian troops, civilians. Okay, you got Jake over there too. I ain't put numbers on how many people are actually deceased. One account said over 300,000 Ukrainian troops are gone. That's from one source. I ain't mentioned civilian casualties. So what I read was just a bunch of hype. That retaliatory strike isn't, I mean, I'm speaking as a man, but I doubt if that's towards Ukraine. Only the United States media will sell something that simple. And I'm disappointed with End Time Headlines for pushing that as well. Because Ukraine is not in a position to continue to fight this war. They're on a losing end. The last recent stronghold, I forget the name, it was overtaken real quick by the Russian forces. So this is BS. But it's not Slovakia. It's not 100% BS. There's some truth to it. And the truth is the retaliatory strike could be America. That's my take on that. Let's get some scriptures. We got it. I mean, do the research. Do the timeline. I mean, don't go back to the whole 2013, 14. Don't go back to that little small conflict. Go to the most recent, okay, February last year to right now. And check out what played out. America been funding it the whole time. They've been funding it the whole time. I believe there was a hit on the Crimea bridge not long ago. Nord Stream pipes 1 and 2. We all knew who called that. Okay? We all knew who called that. Our good old president-elect. He said we would deal with Nord Stream 1 and 2. That video is viral. And what Nord Stream 1 and 2 destroyed? Think about it. Yo, check it. The mainstream media said he intentionally blew up something it took years to build, which made no sense. You had the drone strike. The media said they staged it. This makes no sense, family. It don't make sense. So the whole retaliatory strike, that's why I brought out recent, the Heavenly Father, he gonna come like a thief in the night. I'm not saying this year. I don't know the day of the hour, but it's a lot of warning signs on what this retaliatory strike is really about. And I doubt if it's Ukraine. Right? Let's read Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 9. It says, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations," bricks plus, from the top. "For lo, I will cause," from the top, Slovakia. "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrow shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain." And you gotta check out the economy for America. The future for America. It's very bleak. Okay, the dollar is still there, but as I said the United States dollar is very weak. And the nations, they're not really dealing with America on that level no more. Not to say they're not still using the dollar. Some of the elders brought out, in videos I've been checking out, the dollar still has strength. And that's true. But the dollar is it's continuing to decline. And this ain't, this is not Omar Gaddafi. It's a lot of nations really, turning on it. And this is a war condition that's it's going to play out at some point. And prophetically, America's on the losing end of this. Right? Let's read Jeremiah chapter 15 and 15. Shout against her round about. She had given her hand, her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her as she had done, do unto her. All right? Because this was really going to play out. There's no way. I mean, you could just look at the map of Russia and Ukraine. That type of conflict makes no sense. And what they hyping, oh, he's going to use nukes. He's going to nuke Ukraine. Really? Family, think about it. He's going to nuke his own backyard. That's special ed in itself. And it's not going to happen. The Russians and Ukrainians are the same people. Okay? And when you go into, say, the Europeans in Europe, different parts, the 10 common markers, that's all Europeans. Slovakia, Canada, and United States. They're all one lot of people, okay? But I'm going into the children of Edom. Those are all children of Esau Edom, okay? And when you go into the Dukes of Edom, the different groups among Edom, right? So this retaliatory strike got nothing to do with Russia about to bomb or cause some destructive scene to his own people. Yeah, the proxy are in, obviously, but family, again, America has been funding this thing from day one. As I said, an oxymoron. They're not going to attack. I mean, again, it'll be a proxy to probably put this away while Zelensky hides. And I believe he was, one report said he was in Germany, and another report said he was in Finland, running scared. Okay. But the retaliatory strike, again, family, I gotta break this record. It would have to be more towards America. And it's not impossible for it to play out with all the famine, plague, pestilence that's sent to this world. While the Lord visit this place, setting the stage for this final judgment, deliverance, and doomsday for the wicked. Right? It only makes sense. Let's read on. Let's read Jeremiah 50 and verse 18. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will punish the king of Babylon and his land as I have punished the king of Assyria. Okay, now that's is twofold, because Babylon is still inhabited today. That's most of that Iraqi area, right? But if ancient Babylon is still inhabited, what Babylon is this one talking about? It's talking about America. And when you check out the signs and wonders that's playing out right now, I'm telling y'all, at least as a man, this retaliatory strike, it would have to be pointed at America. And this Babylonian sheepfold are simple as hell to think he's actually going to bomb Ukraine, which is really his own yard. Damn near. His own people. Okay. You guys remember Russia took Georgia. It was in, I believe, I forget the timeline, but there was a condition where Russia reclaimed Georgia. They annexed it and they took it back. That's what he's going to do with Ukraine. He's just going to claim it back. I think that's the only narrative that makes sense. But we'll see. Let's read a couple more. I'm more in this video. Let's get Isaiah. Let me see. We're going to end it. This, family, that's my take. That's just my take on that. I said I was going to share that video, so I was going to go over that that notification. And again, family, I believe the retaliatory hit is coming to America. That's why all of us in the knowledge of this truth keep the commandments. No one gives a damn about the CAA, the Canary Mission, the ADL, the SPLC. It don't matter what threats they make, because when the missiles come this way, that's going to be the end of this place. And that's what's coming to America. Judgment. This place, America, is in a weak state. It's the truth, y'all. Right? So, I'm more of this retaliatory hit coming to the West. That's just me. Isaiah 24 and verse... Let's read Isaiah 24 and verse 10. It says, the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. There is a crying for wine in the street. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. And the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. Check out the crime wave throughout all the 50 states in America. It's bad, y'all. The crime is getting worse. The economic system's just continuing to break down. I mean, we could do the timeline. The Mossad sent a huge plague with the whole C-19, and a lot of businesses crashed. And more businesses are crashing now. And since it's reopened and all the stuff that came with that, America has not been a strong country. It's been weakened. All the major cities defunded their police, so you got a crime wave that's unprecedented. Okay, school violence going into these shootings is at an all-time high. Mall shootings at an all-time high. Just violence as a whole is in an all-time high, like the days of Noah. Straight Genesis, the 6th chapter. For real. And the only people that benefit doing that was the elite. And, they're trying to set their one world structure, but that's obviously not going to play out. A greater judgment's coming, and I think this retaliation is the stage for something very bad. And it ain't for Ukraine. I just doubt that. Right? Let's read let's get Isaiah 24 and verse we're going to go up to 5, going into why such judgment's about to play out at some point. When the Father get a decree, this thing's it's got to play out. Isaiah 24 and 5. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broke the everlasting covenant. And that's chiefly America. America don't obey the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or the ordinances. They worship Satan, Caesar worshipers, pagan worshipers, and all the other madness that they push on a 24/7 basis. That's why this place is being judged. Okay? So the retaliatory strike, that ain't good. Let's read on. Therefore had the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. And that's going into that destruction. That's going to play out very soon. That's going to play out, y'all. And the elite, this establishment, whatever you want to call it, they're in a terrified state, because the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is jamming them up. And there's nothing they can do about it. Except know that destruction is nigh. And for the chosen, the elect, you got to stay in the commandments and don't fall off. Because, you know, I push on this platform that sudden judgment. Okay? I have breakdowns on Jacob's troubles and my take on that. But I push severely the sudden judgment. None of us know the day of the hour. I went into that in the most recent video. And the Heavenly Father, He gonna get a decree for His Son to come as a thief in the night, bringing that great judgment. And the great judgment, ultimately, it must play out, right? Let's read. Let's read 21. And it shall come to pass in that day, the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. Yeah, because these wicked elite kings that currently rule this earth, okay, Job 9 and 24, they're in panic mode. And that's obvious. And, okay, I try to be nice. I hope I don't get in trouble. Who control that media? Who make these little silly narratives? Right? It don't make sense for Russia to drop these mega bombs in their own backyard and kill their own people. And when you do the research, at least to this time, Vladimir Putin's been trying to have discussions to end this war without fighting, but it's yours truly, backed by NATO, that keep pushing war. And that drone thing, that only made it worse. So this retaliatory strike ain't got nothing to do with no Ukraine. That'll be a small proxy that they'll shut down. Okay? I drop a dime on y'all. Watch. You know, he looks like an Edomite. He could be of the bloodline. I don't know. Stephen Gardner. Better watch his videos. I mean, just follow Stephen Gardner's channel. Hey, I know he don't look like Jake, but you never know. But what he putting out, that's bar none. On top of Redacted and all other news sources that's, how do you say, so-called conservative, that give you more than the mainstream media. Somebody's lying. That narrative, that's goofy. In bold letters. The retaliatory strike coming, family, but I think that's coming this way. We're going to end this soon. Isaiah 24 and verse... I'm going to read this again. Isaiah 24 and 21, it reads, And it shall come to pass that in that day the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison. And after many days they shall be visited. That's really Revelation 13 and 10 right there. Because these wicked elites, they going overseas to the war bunkers. Okay? They know the destruction coming. And they're going to be gathered. Okay? The Most High gonna, roughly paraphrasing, He gonna send hunters, and those that remain, chiefly of the wicked. Okay, Isaiah 14, 20 and 21, that wicked seed, Slakia, they're gonna be judged. They're gonna build up that kingdom, and okay, Obadiah 1:18, and wicked Hebrews, they're gonna still be judged. But that's my take on that, family. This retaliatory strike, I don't think that's for Ukraine. Although they're spiking that up, I doubt it, because America is blatantly guilty of funding Ukraine to this very day. But with that, give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Power of Israel, Yahweh, Ba'Shem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the mighty men, the elders, and the apostles in the community. Waking up the lost sheep of the house of Israel in these last days. Peace and blessings to everyone doing this truth and humbleness, sincerity. Israel, I love y'all. We got next. Shalom.